is amazing value, really, if you think about it. £361 I paid for this. You know, you get the logo, the headstock, the authenticity, the vibe that this brings with it. The electronics are the things, again, that let it down. They could be better. I really think that this is a great platform for modifying. And see what the potential is beyond what it already is, which is not shabby. You know, nothing wrong with it. I think this is quite an inspiring guitar, and I think it could teach me a thing or two, to be honest with you. £361. You can't go wrong, really, can you? If you haven't got a Gretsch yet, why not? Every Gretsch we've looked at has been absolutely first class. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us this morning. Very good to see you again, as always. So today we're looking at another highly affordable guitar. This one is from Gretsch's Streamliner range of affordable guitars made in Indonesia. This one here is the G2622 in lovely walnut stain. I wasn't sure whether to go for the walnut stain, or there's another one that I quite fancied, the single barrel stain. I decided on this one in the end. I don't know what the other one was like because I haven't got it, but this one's fantastic. So I'm really pleased I got this because it's got a proper vintage vibe about it. And hopefully these cameras will pick up the, you know, the figuring under this. It's, you know, it just looks really nice. Basically, it's just a really nice, attractive finish. You know, very authentic. And £361, this cost me £361. Got this from those guys down in Brighton, GAC. I've had a couple of Gretches before in this sort of affordable lineups, and they're amazing guitars for the money, to be honest with you. What you get, I mean, it looks like a, well, it looks like, I mean, it is a proper Gretsch, but it looks like a proper Gretsch. You know, the USA line are, you know, a bit expensive. So the Streamliner and the Electromatic range from Gretsch are kind of what Squier is to Fender and what Epiphone is to Gibson, shall we say. But of course you get the Gretsch headstock and the authenticity and the, you know, the whole vibe that goes along with their more expensive guitars. And my experience is you get a pretty decent playing experience as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing if this one lives up to that lofty claim that I've just made. Because £361 is not a lot of money for, you know, for this. I got this one in. The excuse to get this one in was the film that we recently did comparing or looking for alternatives to the ES335. So if you've seen part one of that we did recently, we had the Riviera and the Casino and the Sheraton to compare them to the ES335. So we're looking at original models rather than copies of the 335 in that sort of style. And this is exactly that. This is a centre block guitar. This, I believe, now this is my knowledge of kind of Gretsch is fairly limited, so don't take everything I say as fact. You might want to, you know, do a bit of fact checking. But this particular model or design is really based on the Country Gentleman that Gretsch introduced in 1962, which was it was effectively a Chet Atkins signature. At that time, Gretsch were making guitars in collaboration with Chet Atkins, and I think in '62 they introduced this shape. And And that's why I kind of really like this guitar. It's got that proper vibe, you know. And you know, you'll be familiar with seeing George Harrison play one of these, and lots of you know, fabulous players over the years whom I can't name because I haven't done my research properly. But it's yeah, it's a fabulous looking guitar. So and being highly affordable, you can look the part without spending thousands of dollars. So let's look at the specs. This is a laminated maple body, as are most of the guitars in this kind of style. It's got a NATO neck, which is a species of mahogany, I understand. It's a set neck, obviously. You can see the scarf joint there and the heel joint there. Pretty standard construction for guitars in this price range. Fretboard is Indian laurel, which is it's quite attractive, I must say. Looks the part, looks nice. Yeah, looks nice, that. Synthetic bone nut, medium jumbo frets, and as you can see, it's got this nice aged binding or purfling, whatever you like to call it, all the way round. All the way around the guitar frames, the whole guitar on the front and on the back there as well. Looks really attractive. And it's got these bog standard die-cast tuners that they seem to use on a lot of guitars in this price range. They do the job. That's all you can say about them, really. Oh, and lovely tortoiseshell pickguard there with the Gretsch logo on it. Very cool indeed. But yeah, it's a lovely looking thing, isn't it? So what we're going to do is we'll dig a little bit deeper. Of course, we'll whip the strings off and we'll pop the pickups out so we can have a look and see what is under there and what sort of construction inside. We'll measure the neck, of course, and look at the neck profile. And we'll have a proper play. We'll have a play and see what it sounds like. In fact, I've already done the playing bit, so I know what it sounds like, but you don't, because you haven't heard it yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some of the playing that we've done, going through all the pickup settings. We'll mix all that up with some of the nerdy stuff, some of the specs, and while we look inside it and stuff. So it kind of, hopefully it will move the whole thing along, it'll be, and hopefully it'll be interesting. Okay, so yeah, so let's crack on with this, just get on with it, and we'll start by weighing it. Okay, let's see what we weigh. Yeah, I thought it was light, £5, 15 ounces. Wow, well, that's 2.69 kilos, crikey. Unplugged, it sounds like this. And this is what it sounds like plugged. So I'm using the Fender Deluxe Reverb 2, which is a 1980s version, hand-wired by, well, it's the Paul Rivera. I don't know if he did it personally, but it's a Paul Rivera kind of modded Fender Deluxe Reverb that they did a run of in the 80s. I think it's around about 85, 86. So it's a cool little thing. Yeah, it sounds, I've mucked around with a couple of amps and this sounds okay, I think. It's very clean, but a nice, really nice tube compression on it, isn't it? So that's the bridge pickup, all fully cranked. The controls are a bit odd on this. So this here is the volume for the bridge. Let's see if it works. That works a bit. And then if we go up to the neck pickup, this is the volume for the neck. It works a bit, and this is the tone control for both pickups. So on the staying on the neck. I mean, it's not great. Probably had worse, but let's try that on the bridge. It's kind of so-so, I think, that, isn't it? So you've got a volume control for each pickup and a tone which is shared, and then you've got a master volume. This one here is a master volume, so that gives you the option to blend the individual pickups and then, you know, let's say you want to just a bit of top, then, you know, you can. So, yeah, there's a bit of versatility. I don't think the pots are the best in the world. I'm not sure what they are, and I don't think we're going to be able to find out today because I'm certainly not taking them out to have a look. But they'll probably do the job, and it is it's on the cheaper side of affordable, this one, isn't it? So can be excused perhaps. Right, so let's what we'll do is we'll play something and we'll muck around with the controls and see what comes out the other end. Yeah, cool. Let's try that. Okay, so these pickups are called, they're humbuckers, and they're called Broadtron BT2S, and I believe these were especially designed for this Streamliner range and bought in about 2019. So yeah, they're humbuckers, so let's see what the outputs are, shall we? So on the bridge pickup, we've got 8.70 kilo ohms, and on the neck, 8.65 kilo ohms. Yeah, cool. at this stop tailpiece. It's I'm not sure what I think of this, to be honest with you. I think from a design perspective, I mean, it's quite a chunky thing, and it weighs 81 grams, so it's pretty heavy as well. So just because we can, I thought I'd dig out the one of these lightweight straight aluminium stop bars to see if it will pop straight on. Here we go. Yes, look at that. Yeah, so if you wanted to upgrade the tailpiece, you could. Let's have a look at the bridge. So this looks very similar to the Epiphone ones. See if it comes off. It comes off, obviously. It says B2 on the bottom of that. That weighs 46 grams. So these posts look the same as the Epiphone ones. So here I have an Epiphone bridge, which we know is the same spacing as the Gibson ones. So let's see if this fits. Ta-da! Okay, cool. So Epiphone and therefore Gibson parts will go straight on. And you just need to change these posts for the smaller ones to open the floodgates to a wide range of bridge upgrades. You know, do what you want. So yeah, you could do that. I mean, I only say that because obviously the more affordable guitars, one of the places that they do obviously save money is in the hardware, you know, and the materials they make them out of. So, you know, rather than, you know, sort of steel inserts and stuff like that, you'll just get, well, I don't know, people call it pot metal, don't they, or zinc or whatever. You know, the plating's different and stuff. So you could upgrade it if you wanted to with, you know, sort of brass stuff. You could upgrade it if you wanted to. I don't mind what you put on it, but you could do that. Okay, so there you go. Well, that's interesting to know that. That is interesting to know that. Let's make sure we put the original one back on. Cool. Just feeling the frets on this. The fretwork's excellent. It really is. Really is tidy. Yeah, no problems with that at all. Yeah, really nicely finished. Have a quick look under the old truss rod cover. These screws seem really long for. Look how long these screws are for the truss rod cover. Is it entirely necessary? So there you go. I haven't had to touch this at all, by the way. It had sort of just about the perfect amount of relief in it as arrived, but that's what it looks like inside the truss rod cover. I can't actually see myself. I need to move. Yeah, it's got an Allen key style adjuster. It's a little bit shonky, that, to be honest with you. I'm sure you can see that on that picture. A little bit rough around the edges there. Not that it matters because that's covered up, but just an observation. Okay, let's put that back on. So, this is what it looks like inside the neck pickup cavity. It's quite rough around the edges, isn't it? Yeah, it's all a little bit industrial in there, isn't it? No identifying marks on the back of that pickup apart from an N, which obviously means neck. And inside the bridge pickup, I mean, good news is there's access hole there, so you'd be able to get the pots in and out of that. So what you can see here is at the back there, the block, it's not like a full block. So I think on the Epiphones that we'd looked at, that, you know, the block is just really hollowed out for where the pickups are. But here, rather than a block, it kind of looks like it's just two strips really, a strip either side, if you know what I mean, because it goes, there's a channel all the way through there. So it looks to be quite a different design. And the back of this pickup, you can just see an upside down B, the bridge. Cool. Okay, now here is the neck profile and measurements at the 1st fret. And here's the neck profile and measurements at the 12th fret. So, although they call this a centre block guitar, as we saw in the film here, it hasn't got a centre block running right down the middle. It's just really got bracing, you know, either side, you know, to act as an anchor for the bridge and the tailpiece. So it's got more in common with the fully hollow body guitars like the ES330 and the Casino, really. And like the Casino, it sort of catches you by surprise in terms of what it wants to do, or into the areas it wants to take you into. So at first I was a little bit uncertain, but once I kind of got into the feel of it and you know, felt what it wanted to do, I found it really quite inspiring. It likes drive. You know, I think it's probably more at home on a rock stage than it is in a Bluebird Cafe, to be honest with you. You know, the kind of the twangy stuff. I tried to do a little bit of the, you know, a bit of a kind of a rockabilly feel kind of jam to start with there, because I felt, oh, okay, that's kind of what it wanted to do. But really, as soon as you engage drive, and you know, you can feel it come alive, and it wants to show you some stuff. Yeah, I mean, I think this is quite an inspiring guitar, and I think it could teach me a thing or two, to be honest with you. Amazing value, really, if you think about it. £361 I paid for this. Obviously, you know, you get the logo, the headstock, the authenticity, the vibe that this brings with it. But also, there's nothing that feels cheap about it. Not in terms of playability, you know, as I've said, the fretwork is really nice. Really, there's nothing that feels cheap about that at all. It looks really good. The electronics are the things, again, that let it down. They could be better. I really think that this is a great platform for modifying. You know, I'm not discounting these pickups. I'm saying this is all perfectly adequate. You know, to sort of grab it and play it and enjoy it. But I think it's also, for me, I'd like to upgrade it. I'd like to try some different pickups and some different electronics and see what its potential, and even potentially change the bridges and the tailpieces. Now that we know that the Gibson style stuff will fit it, you know, muck around and see what the potential is beyond what it already is, which is not shabby. You know, nothing wrong with it. I love this. I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep this, and I'm going to enjoy trying to improve it and make it a guitar that I use a lot. Like it a lot. Yeah, £361. You can't go wrong, really, can't you? If you haven't got a Gretsch yet, why not? Every Gretsch we've looked at has been absolutely first class. So I'd highly recommend, you know, you think about that. And on that note, I think we'll leave it. Thanks ever so much for watching again, as usual. Really enjoyed your company, and hopefully you'll join us again next week. We're coming up for the end of the year, aren't we? So let's see you then. Cheers. Bye.